Happy weekend, everyone! I hope your weekend was great. Let's go, baby. Weeks is gonna start soon, right? 3 hours, 46 minutes. And CME will be back. I hope for the week that we're gonna finally have a little bit of vola in this bitch, right? Uh, it's literally like that since I don't know how much weeks we go for. Couple of weeks, like couple of weeks of ranging, consolidating, quick markup, and after that we are back again in like 2 weeks of fucking consolidation. But it's part of the game, right? It's something that we've looked at last week, and not only last week, 2 weeks ago, right? Where we will have a possibilities, right, of ranging air, compressing in it, right? We look at it, I don't know how much time last week, and nothing was unexpected on that, right? By the end of the week, guys, some new little things gonna come, and especially on Tuesday. I'm gonna start to speak about it on Tuesday, and on Tuesday particularly we have an event. So next stream, if you want to know what's going to be our event and what's coming for the rest of the week, come back on Tuesday stream. Nice little new event and some little announcement for the end of the week. Let's go, baby. Just to update a bit on what we've looked at last week, I'm gonna take a look at the order flow stuff, bigger picture. But to be honest, we've looked at it a bit on Discord this morning. Nothing's really changed for last week, right? We've been really flat, even aggregatedly, right, with the open interest. We've been really flat in this whole range. The only things change a bit was the aggregated open interest, right? But compare that like last week for the weekend, what we got basically really not that much, right? Really not that big of a change since Tuesday. I want to make sure that our higher picture stuff is great, dominant stuff too. And if dominant stuff looking a bit like last week, and in our plan of the week, we still expecting, this kind of zone or whatever with this kind of zone. In those both expectation, if we got volatility this week or next week with the FOMC stuff, we're gonna start to look at those little shitcoin dominance too, to know if let's say we start to perform with our Bitcoin and or ETH, if a rotation can occur for or spot kind of things, like ETH, like let's say ETH over Link or whatever, Link over ETH, my bad, or those kind of chart that we speak a bit more last week. We're gonna look at that too when we're gonna cover the higher picture stuff. I want to make sure that we go back over this, that we are set for next month, because it's been monthly candle close, right? Friday. So yeah, just making sure that we are kind of a date with what can happen for big pictures. But yep. I think it's gonna be that today. We're gonna have enough with our higher picture stuff, the reset of our plan, and some little shitcoins rotation. Definitely, like I want to make a plan for my shitcoins. Definitely, if Bitcoins go up here or if Bitcoins go down there, right? Or even down there, I want to make sure that this plan is okay for higher picture shitcoin, Bitcoin, higher picture Bitcoin, shitcoin, mid picture, and smaller pictures, shitcoin and Bitcoin, and same thing for air. I want to make sure that I'm covered for everything today. So we are set for the months, and you guys know this month I'm expecting, a bit of vola, right, with that FOMC. Not this week, but next week. We speak about it, I think, for a month now. So yeah, that CPI FOMC at the same day on Wednesday in 2 weeks. So maybe by the end of this week, beginning of next week, we can start to expect a bit of vola to prepare that move. And yeah. Actually, next week Bugamas, next week volumes is gonna be pretty important for me, FOMC weeks. Even maybe for the end of this week, depending on what we got in terms of price action in Bitcoin. Yep. I think by knowing this, knowing that we don't got nothing more crazy in old that old smaller range, smaller compression, we're gonna jump right away on our plan, mid-picture plan, readapting everything's. But to be honest, I really think that it's not gonna be a lot complicated. The level is gonna be a bit the same that we looked at last week. So let me open this and let me restart of where we were coming from last week. But for that, I think it's okay, right? We're gonna go over even deeply on our smaller picture stuff about this smaller compression. But I think on what we've expect last week, right, with that compression, and not even last week, it was like from 2 weeks ago. It was pretty great. Only some, we speak about it. Only some small risk scalp in it. Nothing's really crazy need to occur in that smaller, compressions. But I'm gonna be pretty interesting this week to know if in this particular range we start to lose value areas, or if we go, just again for, little fake out, continuing to print, like just a compression into it, and even it can be bigger, right? If we want really just to continue to range this week on the smaller picture, we can go get, what we were expecting for, or I can delete that from last week, the sweep level that was Gucci. But yeah, we can go, for that naked point of control, and technically, just continue to crawl into it. That will be not something's not in expecting and expected to, right, to do some things even like that and be like another decision point on our volumes, right? It's just gonna be like a bigger picture fuck around, or even or retests, right? Oh fuck, I didn't select the good thing, but just even or retests, right? So this week, if we got something like that, it's definitely gonna be another, by the end of the week, another big decision point that I'm gonna look at, right? Especially if structure is maintained there, right? Or structure, this is our structure, and this is all internal, right? We don't want to get fucked by internal structure. But you know that we can still fuck around. We can still fuck around. It's nothing impossible. So that's why I'm saying this. And since it's a level that we look at for 2 week, Mr. Gurkha, right? With that, I'm like, in reality, if they plan, to really take out that level, this is really something that I can expect for this week, right? Especially if we go again for no Vala week, and we decide just to extend it a bit. We're gonna look at liquidation stuff to, if it's just helping us. Yep, for smaller pictures, I think that this range, it's really nothing unexpected for us. And if we really just want to, get them the fuck out and just squeeze them on it. Yeah, some things like that. So yep, with my open interest, we can squeeze my shorts, my longs, my late longers. and even trap more. To go for the wheel squeeze. Basically doing the same things on it. And if this can go with it a bit. Yeah, for a smaller picture, I definitely think that's gonna be like one of my first level that I'm gonna look at. Respect what we're looking on Thursday. Um, but on this, the moment that we break into it, it's definitely gonna be this old volumes range that I'm gonna look at. Oh, and even my anchored one, smaller picture one, but my anchored volume profile there. If we turn back our old volumes, so basically your old order into support there and continue for its for smaller picture there for me it's definitely okay. Point of controls and point of control, if point of control getting out, we take out point of control, I'm looking at volumes. I don't want this to go back in volumes again. If it is bullish, right? I don't want it to go back in volumes again. I want to continue and maintain on bullish structures. If not, I'm gonna look at this probably as a little sweep zone or whatever. This is gonna be more sweep yep, at our sweep level, but if not, I'm just definitely looking at if it's turned into support, maintaining our structures for smaller mid picture there, and for our smaller picture is just driving right now with some volumes, or even tomorrow there if we drive into it there with some volumes and we start to squeeze those shorts, those longs, my bad, then I'm gonna start to be interested to look at the retest or really how it's holding up. But this for me will be really an important decision point. And I think we don't fucking need to repeat it. So after all of those week, I think it's been approved, right? 67K, goddamn. I don't need to repeat it. How it's a fucking decision point, right? 67, 68K. I think all of this is a proof. All of this is a proof. All of this is a proof. This is a proof. This is a proof. Quick reaction there was a proof too. So yeah. This week it's just gonna be still the same thing, and I know you guys are maybe feeling like I'm repeating myself, but it's just sticking to the plan, right? Like up here, you guys remember? Sticking to the plan, sticking to the plan. We wait, we wait, we wait, we wait. We got our fake out. We wait for accumulation zone. We wait for DCA in, right? We wait for this old bottom of range 3 to get in. We can be patient, right? So it's just gonna be again those same type of things, not necessarily because it's gonna go, it's like air and it's for going down, right? It's just that we can be patient just to swing it, right? For mid picture plans, a smaller picture plan, I can see you guys if especially in those little choppiness, if you guys look at all the matte, because it's really matting, right? On this smaller picture, it's bang banging both sides, pixel fuck from one side to the others. But for me, I just want to always remind to myself that when I'm playing them, especially when we compress, right? At one point, people's gonna get squeezed. So if I go with logic, I don't want to be the guy that's sitting with like high leverage and that's getting gap out, like my stop loss just getting jump and I'm losing way more than what I was expecting on my risk management. It can be on the downside or the upsides, right? So that's why, especially when we compress like that, I'm reducing more and more my risk, Evox, I feel like trend lines are stronger when it comes to key levels and weekends. Am I tripping? Not necessarily, Mr. Denzel. But you remember it's a bit like everything, right? You don't base yourself only on that, right? The trend line is it's just a point where you can where people are most likely aiming and looking into it, right? Denzel, a bit like this here, right? Let's say that everyone was kind of looking at this trend line, right? But at one point, yep, this trend line work, yep, this trend line work, and yes, at one point it needs to be broke out, right? So like everything, you just want to add up a bit more confluence on it. But I'm happy to see that you started to discover that during weekend there's stuff that works more, and during the week there's stuff that will work even more, right? So there you can always just, spread a little bit of stuff on top of each other. Everyone is pulling those trend line, yeah. So it's easy for market maker to trap people and believe in trend line work just to squeeze them all. Exactly. So you see that was the perfect example here. People that put let me not use the basic trend line, right? Let's use the original ray that will really make us look, at the old trend. You see that? You see that that was the only reason. People that started on this, 4 hour, right? Let's go in lower picture. People here that was like, oh, okay, I'm looking at the 1 hour, 4 hour, it's close, it's close, it's close, it's close of the trend line, because in 4 hour, right, this candle can seems like really, really close, right? Or even pixel fuck if you're on Zoom a bit and you're just a beginner, you don't know that you can go in the smaller picture and to look at it, I look at volumes or whatever, right? And it was basically that. In the smaller picture, people have started to get in, and was putting their stop loss just behind it, behind the trend line. And what happened? We've gone for them just before we were holding, and everyone that's tried to go back in it with on the trend line, nah, nothing's. And you remember what we said about this morning, that if at one point for me it's continuing to go there, it's just gonna be to jump, because it's gonna be to jump. That's right. Let me delete the stuff. And it's kind of logic, because if you have all of your weekend stop loss here, 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 and people's doing the same again, just add it more, right? Here, 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 here. So at one point it's easy, and that's holding it, right? Or array is just there. Let me remove the large order so I can draw it, so you can see it. You can see what I'm speaking about. On the regular exchange, it's like on the spot, right? It's like that. On derivative, it's a bit different, right? They wick into it. So we can even put it up like that. And they've just, decided to fuck just a bit with the with retailers there, but it's again the same thing and the same concept, right? More and more that it's gonna come, more and more it's gonna compress there, more and more you have chance that there you're gonna get, and especially if in those you got some teamies, right? With teamies, he's never really getting the good chance, and especially if it's high leverage, because if it's high leverage, the moment, like let's say it's 100x or whatever, the moment we're gonna jump like 1%, it's finished. They are liquidated, sure, right? So liquidation, stop loss, and all of that stacking up there. So by putting all of our logics together, open interest, your trend line there, and all of this kind of stuff, yes, this is a logics to add it up, right? Because technically you can add up to your logic that in your trend line, you're gonna have some stop loss, right? Under your trend line. But before it's happening, we cannot really have a statement out of it, right? It's gonna be shit to fucking delete. I don't know how I am fucking draw on it. Let me catch up on chat so I make sure you don't have question on this particularly. But it's like everything's, right? But at the beginning trend line, it's a beautiful thing to start with because it's help you to understand even more with volumes because you can create yourself some some little strategy based on trend line, volumes, and market structure. Always market structure, right? It's always important. Majority, just to tell you, they are teamies. Majorities of people are teamies. So sometimes when you're gonna go on the bigger pictures, you can see some big some big order flow from market maker. You guys remember all of that? Everyone's was like, oh god damn, order flow is so big, we need to squeeze those shorts, on the big picture, they need to get the fuck out. Look at exo, look at that. Yeah, but bro, big money can be too, like our market makers that just distribute or whatever, or try to edge their spot position. So that's why we need to, it's not because something it's like that or something it's like that it's bullish or bearish. We need some confluence. We need other statement, not base statement, right? Like a base statement, like oh the trend line's been sweep, Gucci is bullish, not necessarily, right? For the rest, it's basically last week level, right? It's gonna be like 63k, it's gonna be 62k ish, where it's for us higher pictures, two of Elliot's getting resets, right? So 1, 2, 3, right? Not 2, 1, 2 with a possibility going to the 3. This we're gonna go look at it even deeper on the bigger pictures. But for the mid picture, to be honest, I think with Gucci we're gonna update it for sure in the later in the stream if we update some things. Okay, spot have not wake up yet, right? But future delta started to wake up, and it's kind of heavy compared to spot because it's driving the aggregated CPD. So that's gonna be interesting to look at if those are not really traps into it and they directly go for CME with some little vola. Let me look at this smaller too. But since it's compress over compress, I'm just, goddamn, it's been flat. Volume's been flat all weekend. It's absolutely crazy. On the smaller picture yesterday, it's been really a time I've not seen that. It's absolutely crazy. How much of a range it is? Just for fun. Just for fun. At maximum 330 bucks, and like of average not even like 200 bucks, 190 bucks. What the fuck? Even this, if we the more and the more that we're gonna crawl there, the more and the more that we're gonna compress there, the more and the more for me those stop loss gonna stack up, right? Oh, my bad. Was there. Let me pull it up from our eye that we've look at. Right? The more and the more that we're gonna compress, the more and the more that I'm gonna believe and disbelieve, the less into it. The more and the more that we're gonna touch and spend times into it, less and the less that I'm gonna believe into it. Same thing for this, right? Same thing for this. The more that we're gonna go and go and go for compress, the more and the more and the less that I'm gonna believe into it to get it broke. So that's why I'm looking at this structural fib, right? From our internal structure. And in reality, I should look at even this one to look at not our internal structure, but our major structure. Yeah. No, I even prefer that since we're gonna look at our old and this is based on our. It was like 2 weeks and a half ago, right? The nerd out that we've made on market structure by looking at our major low to our major high structures, right? And everything's between. It's called internal structure, right? But yep. For our dominant stuff, but by what we were looking at last week, right? We wanted to know if that bearish structure would be maintained, right? If we were continuing to the downside or just sitting into it. If we were sitting, if we were continuing to the downside, or just even just retest to continue a small mid pictures bearishness, we weren't really caring about stablecoin, right? But we want to see the proper rotations and the signals, right? If money is rotating out of ETH into shitcoins, and if it's rotating out of bitcoins into shitcoins, right? To flow in those shitcoin during the time that bitcoin's USD is is kind of sitting. And if you guys, when we go over over like dominant stuff, it's always great to pull on the other sides your cheat sheet, right? Cheat sheet about dominance, so it's even easier to understand what we go over, right? It's in the new little hub sections that I change. Before it was in the link section, I remove it and change it for hub section, where you're gonna have your Agar templates, all the links a bit that I'm looking at, and not only the templates, right? Template stuff and all of this, templates for Agar, the templates, cheat sheets, exo template is gonna be there too. I want to add it up. The exo template that I'm looking on the web app here. But yeah, to continue on our little dominant stuff. If on USDT dominance, in our stablecoin dominance, in the overall mid picture, we maintain bearishness, I'm not gonna be really concerned about it this week if we go up there. Depending on what's happening with Bitcoin dominance, I'm maybe gonna be less interested to look at those shitcoins for volatility. But for those next week bigger picture plans, for sure, because if it's giving us some opportunities over ETH or Bitcoin pair, I want to be the guy that's going to be in those accumulations, right? What we've looked on last week, week of accumulation, and last week nerd out. Every Thursday, right, we make a little nerd out. But this in the mid picture, if we maintain bearish structure and we continue to crawl or we maintain our bearish structure too in Bitcoin dominance. I'm definitely gonna be the guy that's gonna look up at ETH and Bitcoin D to look at if when Bitcoin and ETH dominance going lower, is it rotating in our shitcoin? Is money trying to hold shitcoins or the top what's not in the top 50 down there, right? Into our golden pockets. So did here we've made a plan? Nope. No. Okay. If we started to hold that golden pocket and started to print that bullish structure into it, into the others D, shitcoin's gonna start to really be interesting for me, especially if money's coming from ETH and Bitcoin. So during those time, the shitcoins ETH dominance go lower and Bitcoin's dominance go lower or crawl. Same thing for it, or crawl, to make me look at reset and really or ETH and Bitcoin pair over shitcoin. And it's for me, like, particularly something's really important to understand, right? Those particular signals when we got proper rotation from one coin. So Bitcoin's dominance on left, right? So we got the proper rotation from Bitcoin dominance into ETH's dominance. That's giving us our proper signal for money flow rotation, right? What we've looked at on big picture. So from Bitcoin dominance into ETH, right? Using, and especially more and more that we're gonna come to an end, to an last, out season, more and more it's gonna be driven by the DeFi. Another reason why we look at DeFi dominance when money is rotating from one to another, right? You want to see your DeFi DOMs helping them rotating shitcoins into the others, right? Shitcoins into ETH or into BTC or the opposite or whatever, right? When signals are properly made, you want to see those DeFi's going with it like that, right? During Bitcoin's transferring into ETH, when ETH started to go crazy, ETH profits been helped by the DeFi to drive into the all markets, right? And this is just for higher picture stuff, and that's the reason why I'm doing that before covering or mid picture stuff or higher picture stuff, or higher picture stuff for Bitcoin, or even or higher picture stuff, mid picture stuff for shitcoin. It's pretty important for me. And this, I need to respect it. For this week, if we go up there, we go up there, and Bitcoin USD is going lower, I'm only looking at Bitcoin. Shitcoin should bleed a bit, but this can probably, and this is there that I'm gonna look at. Opportunities. Bitcoin. At structure, when we've made our plan, I've told to myself, this and this is a major high, major low. Everything that's in between, for me, it's in a preparation of being trapped. Yes, Mr. Andres. So at one point, everything's that we compress there, for me, I want like that they're gonna be trapped. So that's why I want to see quick move, quick reaction, so we can maybe trap both sides, quickly. Because we squeeze and we go directly for the others, letting them beyond, whatever the size is, right? But this, until I really got CME back and CME that tells me, hey, okay, no, we don't got that volume, we don't got that crazy volumes or whatever. We even try to hold it, you know, in those liquidity. Same thing for up there, you know. It's gonna be hard for me to tell it, right? But especially with that, right? It's really flat in this whole accumulation. The only difference that we got for the aggregated stablecoin is the fact that in this, right? In this, we got a bit more shorts, right? Accumulated. But until I'm seeing those shorts not holding, right? So not holding from mat level to mat level to mat level, it can be MM, right? It can be market makers that's just trying to hold it. So they are not trapped yet for me, right? They're gonna be trapped the moment that we go above and they're not squeezed, right? Andres? So by this logic, it's just telling me that if I'm starting to see some shorts getting, you know, squeezed, at the same time that I'm seeing, you know, like those walls getting filled and my point of control holding, I want to see that as a sweep, right? So we can hold sweep structure, this. Oh, fuck, why I've drawn on the Quinning? But I can see my sweep structure, right? And seeing possibly those longs and those all longs at one point getting trapped, right? Same thing for the lower sides, right? And honestly, it's always kind of the same things, right? When we compress like that, when we compress, even there, we look at it a bit like a triangle, but we can look at it on smaller picture stuff. It's worked for every structures, right? A bit what we've done yesterday is the perfect example. God damn it, shit, to fucking delete stuff on this. Let me look at what I'm meaning there. Let me show you what I'm meaning there. But this, all of this, you know, it's not triangle, nothing's, right? But between this and between this, it was the exact same goal, right? Okay, we accumulate of some things, we accumulate of some things, we accumulate of something else, right? And we quickly go for some things, we feel the other that we can, trapping some teamies, and boom, directly. We don't let the times for people to close it, and bang, 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 we go for it. For me, I'm just looking at this on this bigger pictures, right? But you get what I'm meaning there? Oh, we go for squeezing longs and boom, right away we go for the squeeze shorts, because into all of this, it can permit to the market makers to get fills, right? And we ain't say shit. Look at this. To get the markets maker fill. 86 Bitcoin, 159 Bitcoins, right? That just been helped by all the little liquidation that we've grabbed in this, coming from this, right? But it's sure it's coming from this. It cannot come from this, right? Not a liquidation that will come from a position up there. It's sure that it was the people getting trapped. And this, and what about for the drop right now? It's exactly exactly the same thing again, right? Andres, we speak about it during the time that we were making our mid picture plan. But we've just gone again to fake out people that were, you know, looking at this lows. They were pushing, and we can look at it in smaller pictures. And we even speak about that this morning, I think, with Mr. Denzel. But they're gonna, you know, push, trap some longs, push, trap some longs, right? And by squeezing the longs, squeezing all little stop loss, that because you know that most amount of the time people gonna put it in a lower low or whatever. With the liquidation and the stop loss that getting it can help market makers to get filled, right? And bro, I'm gonna stop to fucking draw on Coinink. I hate it. But you get what I mean? It's a game, this again, the same thing. You see, first move, we've added up some longs. Some longs at one point were traps, right? Were traps in it, and we turned back into it because longs and shorts that been squeezed of all of that have helped market makers to get filled to do the exact same thing again. The long that were trapped into all of this, longs that were traps into all of this, started to get squeezed. So from the low, it's from there. So this started to get squeezed, right? To try to squeeze them all.